Welcome back to another video. It is the end of day one of my gut cut. I say the end, it's like 5:30, it's not actually late. I am now on my final meal of the day, which is a 85-gram bowl of Frosties and a 1.5 scoop protein shake. So I woke up this morning so I'm 3 days out, basically. Woke up this morning at 85.8, which is slightly higher than I have been in the mornings, but I trained really late last night, literally came home, ate, and went straight to bed. So then this morning I kind of expected to be a little bit heavier because I also got up fairly early this morning. So we're in a very good spot. Haven't struggled at all today. Honestly, I'm just relieved. I spoke to my nutrition coach about this today. Like, I'm just feel glad about the fact that I don't have to cook food for the next couple of days. Like, I made 2 eggs on toast today. That's literally all I've cooked. When I was eating my last, so I've been basically living on as like high volume foods as possible. And one of my staple meals, this entire deficit, was some kind of lean mince, whether that's turkey mince, beef mince, pork mince, kind of whatever, with potatoes, and then just like a mixture of veg cooked in. And I did use seasonings and stuff, and like it wasn't a terrible meal. But when I was eating it the other night, I think it was yesterday lunchtime, I think I had my last portion of it. I was literally like, I couldn't get through it. Like, it was so hard to eat, the hardest meal ever. Like, it was so disgusting. And I literally just sat there and said to my boyfriend, I was like, have I just been like gaslighting myself this entire deficit into thinking I was enjoying this meal? Because this is not nice, like, at all. I think it was just so like, this is what I have to eat in order to get a good amount of volume in on the calories I've been on. So this is what I'm going to have to just enjoy. And I've been like tricking myself into enjoying it. So I was like, I'm actually looking for, like, even though my hunger levels will probably be higher the next few days, I'm actually looking forward to just eating. Like, today I've literally eaten brioche, protein shakes, cereal, eggs on toast. Like, that's been my diet for the day. So yeah, I will keep you guys updated as to what my body weight is doing over the next few days. If we need to be any more aggressive with my food selection stuff, I will obviously let you guys know as well. And by that, what I mean is, like, let's say on Saturday, I've not really had the drops that I needed over the next 2 days of gut cutting. For my final day of gut cutting, it might be, okay, well, rather than eating my carbs, we'll have liquid carbs just to reduce food volume even more. But I don't think that's going to be a thing. And me and my coach said today, my nutrition coach, like, even though I was 85.8 today, and historically I don't lose loads when I gut cut, realistically, had I not weighed myself until 10-11 this morning, I probably would have been like 85.2. And I don't weigh in until 1 p.m. So I have, like, I'm probably going to fast the morning of comp. I'm not expecting to be light enough to eat or drink or anything before I weigh in, which I'm fine with because I'm hoping that I can just have a major lay-in, although I don't know how realistic that is because I'm not the best at having lay-ins. But realistically, by the time it gets to mid-afternoon, I will obviously have dropped a bit more anyway. And I can sweat from 85. So I'm basically where I need to be to sweat from if I have a good night's sleep and a bit of a lay-in. So we're all good. We're all calm. We're all chilling. I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to eat my last meal of the day. But that is day one of the gut cuts update. So 3 days out. So feeling good. I'm actually really looking forward to competing, which is so rare for me. But I think because it's bench only and I always enjoy benching at comp, this is exactly what we need. Okay, so excuse one, the state of me, and two, the fact that I'm just locked away in my office in the dark right now. It's day 2 of my gut cut. I'm 2 days out. I've just finished my protein shake, which is my last thing I'm having today, other than just like normal fluid and stuff. And it is 7:05. So body weight took a massive drop from day one of the gut cut. So yesterday morning I was 85.8, which was a little bit skewed just because of the fact that I ate late the night before, didn't have the best night's sleep, and I also trained late the night before as well. But this morning I was 84.9, which is not what I expected at all. I'm hoping we get another decent drop tomorrow. I think I wouldn't even be surprised if I wake up pretty much at weight tomorrow. But we will see. Obviously, if I wake up at weight on Sunday, then fantastic, no hot bath needed. But what's really nice is the fact that, like, I can make weight so comfortably if I wake up on comp morning at 84.9 like I did today. So as long as the scale doesn't go up, we are all good. I had my last training session earlier. I didn't actually film any of it on my camera. It was just some light squats, 3x4 at 140, which actually felt a lot better than I thought they would. With my hamstring issue, I asked my coach about potentially just not squatting today at all, because we've already agreed I'm not doing my day 4 squats at the weekend. And he was like, no, do these squats just to keep yourself moving, and, like, you know, you're not doing your end of block squats, so just do this lighter day. Like, it's nothing, obviously it's easy, it's fine. The only reason I wanted to maybe not do it was just because of my hamstring, and obviously the fact that I'm going to be mid gut cut doing it. I won't lie, I woke up in the night last night and I could feel my hamstring, and I ended up laying in bed stressing about the fact that I was going to have to do the session. And then I was like, Sean, if it feels awful, you do not have to do the session, or you don't have to do the squats, obviously you have to do the bench and the accessories, but, like, rationalised it a little bit. Anyway, fast forward to today, and actually it's feeling so much better. Like, it's still there, but it definitely is improving quite rapidly at the moment, and it feels the best it has in months. So that's really positive. I've also booked in a physio appointment for tomorrow. So it's just a consultation call tomorrow, for like just before I'm planning on leaving to go to British Bench. Because I was like, let's just get the ball rolling on this. So I booked a consultation call for tomorrow. And then I'll potentially book a proper appointment in with them, providing we obviously everything kind of gels and everything, and they seem decent. Like early next week, hopefully, if I can. Just kind of going to see, but I want to at least get the consultation call booked in and kind of get things moving. Bench today, I had tempo bench today, literally just worked up to a single at 100. I did 85 for a tempo double, 90 for a tempo double, 95 for a tempo single, 100 for a tempo single, and all felt absolutely fantastic. And obviously I'm not running on a lot of food right now either. Like I literally had 2 brioche before I went in, so not a lot whatsoever. And I was feeling pretty rough earlier today as well, which is why I'm actually in my office in the dark now working late, because energy levels today have been fine. And I felt pretty good the first half of the day. It wasn't until I'd walked Zuko, our dog, at 2, so it was my second dog walk of the day. I did one first thing this morning, went up for a dog walk just after 2, and I was really struggling. It was only like a half an hour walk as well, but I just felt really rough. So came home and I was like, right, I do not feel up for training right now. And then I started to develop this awful headache. So I just got a couple of like things around the house done. I already knew I had some work I want to get done tonight because I'm hoping to be logged off by 1 tomorrow. And normally Sundays are quite a long work day for me, so I'm basically just getting ahead on things. So I'm going to sit here probably until like 9ish to 9. It's now just gone 7. And then I'm going to shower, get my fake tan on, and just have like a chilled hour or so in bed before I get to sleep. But I'm not too stressed about getting an early night tonight and tomorrow, because weigh-in being at 1 o'clock on Sunday, actually it's better for me if I go to bed later, because then hopefully I'll have a lay-in on Sunday morning, so I just have less time to kind of wait around and be hungry. But yeah, so headache and stuff was not great earlier, but I'm feeling mostly fine now. I think the paracetamol and ibuprofen I took have kicked in. But yeah, I just want to jump on and give you a little bit of an update of today. So I felt fine. Food was exactly the same today as yesterday. Hunger levels haven't been overly high today either. They were really high yesterday. It is just literally this afternoon I've had a bit of an energy dip, which is why I'm also not doing the evening dog walk today. I'm just going to let my boyfriend do that. And I'll just go back to doing the longer dog walks after comp, hopefully with my hamstring being a bit calmer too. But yeah, I'm feeling good. Body weight's doing what we need it to, and bench felt super strong tonight, which I was quite surprised by, and I'm actually feeling really confident now in that my strength will be good on Sunday. So fingers crossed all works out, and I'm not going to just jinx myself. But yeah, going to just crack on and get some more work done, and I'll check in with you guys tomorrow, probably when I get to my hotel. Okay, so it is Saturday evening. I compete tomorrow afternoon. It's like 7:30, 8 o'clock right now. I've been in my hotel since just after 6. I'm not going to lie. I've been laying in bed watching Netflix. Also, look how big this hotel room is. I literally booked it for one person, and I've got the sofa bed made up. I don't know why that's made up. I'm going to sleep in the middle bed. Got the bed at the end. And then the bathroom is like right in that corner, and it is huge. But I'm not complaining because I've got like a really big bath in there. So basically, plan is I'm going to get in the bath in a second and just have like a relaxing bubble bath, not like a dehydrating bath or anything. But yeah, I literally got to the hotel at 6 and I've been struggling to stay awake ever since. You can probably tell, like I'm so sleepy. I've just been laying in that middle bed watching Netflix, which is why it's all like not made or anything. Just on my laptop, which is my plan for the night, because I'm trying not to fall asleep really early, because I know myself, and if I fall asleep before like 10, half 10, I will wake up at like 7, 8 in the morning tomorrow at the latest. So I'm not weighing in until 1. I would like to stay in bed until nearly 10, because I shouldn't have to dehydrate too much, if at all. Body weight at the end of yesterday was 86.2, which matches the end of the night before. So day 2 of my gut cut yesterday, I was 86.2. So I was a little bit annoyed by that, because I kind of assumed that I probably wouldn't be dropping much overnight. And I woke up at 84.9 this morning, which is the exact same morning weight as yesterday. So day 2 and day 3, I woke up at the exact same body weight, no drop, which is frustrating. But as my nutrition coach reminded me, 84.9 on day 2 of the gut cut was a massive drop that we didn't expect. So actually where I woke up this morning is kind of where we predicted I should roughly be after the like 2 full days of gut cutting. So yeah, I was 84.9 this morning, but evening weight, I was just 85.7, which is half a kilo down on what I was last night, which means hopefully I'll wake up about half a kilo down on what I woke up at this morning. So I'll wake up mid 84s. And to be honest, guys, if I'm 84.5 or less, I can probably just have a warm shower in the morning and then spit while I'm getting ready, and I'll be good to go. Maybe we'll just wrap up in some layers so I'm a little bit sweaty kind of while I'm getting ready, which is never nice putting makeup on while you're sweaty, but needs must, and I would rather just basically get ready and kind of crack on. So
We're in a really good position actually body weight wise, and I'm really glad we didn't water load this cut. So this cut, all we've done is gut cut. We didn't do any macro manipulation. We kept my carbs up at 220. My macros for this gut cut have been 220 carbs, 150 protein, and 50 fat pretty much. And I've eaten the exact same thing for all 3 days as well. Like literally each, I can tell you exactly what I've had. I've had 5 brioche. I've had 3 protein shakes. 2 of them were 2 scoop. 1 of them was 1.5 scoop. And I've had a bowl of Frosties that was 95 grams of Frosties with 200 mils of semi-skim milk and 2 pieces of white bread with an egg on each, so 2 eggs. That is literally my diet for the last few days to get those macros perfectly. Fiber has been like 6 grams, so we basically want to keep fiber as low as possible because that is kind of a big part of gut cutting and getting that weight off. And I'm actually feeling so much better than when I normally water load. I don't mind being hungry for a few days, and actually today I've not really felt hungry at all because my stomach's obviously adjusted and kind of shrunk with it. But when I've water loaded the last few times, I've always had really bad headaches and stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I have got a headache now, but I think that's also partly just from driving, and I'm just generally feeling really tired today. I had a really promising call with a physio this afternoon about my hamstring glute issue. He's noticed a few different things that we're gonna try and work on. So I decided to just book in for a one-off physio session on Monday because basically what he does is like an online training session, basically like an online PT almost session. So he's going to like do a video call with me Monday evening while I'm in the garage at home, although I'm praying my internet works out there because my internet's not the best when I'm in the garage. But basically he wanted me to be in the gym for this session, and then we can work through some movements and stuff to hopefully try and find a plan that will help it. But he's already noticed a few things, and I've decided to just do one session for now, but I could potentially keep rebooking in with him. And essentially he treats it like online coaching as like how powerlifting coaches work. He works as a physio, which I think is really good. And yeah, he's been really good, so excited to kind of get things moving with that. And actually some of the stuff he pointed out to me today is stuff that like I think I've just been a bit blind to with my own movement patterns and stuff. So there's definitely stuff we can work on, and between me and my powerlifting coach, we will probably have the knowledge to implement the stuff that this physio is recommending and stuff. So gonna have one long session with him on Monday before I go out for my post-comp burger, which I'm so excited for. My boyfriend also called me when I got back, or when I got to the hotel, because he did a quick food shop this evening after I left, and he like showed me all the things he got in that I can have like when I get back. So very excited for that. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to go crazy, but there's just been a few things I've been craving that I'm really looking forward to having. But yeah, no, I'm feeling good. This cut has been super easy, to be honest. I'm just kind of looking forward to getting to comp now.
Okay, so it is comp morning. It's 11:15. I'm now heading to the venue. I woke up a lot earlier than I expected. Woke up in the middle of the night with a major headache. Could not get back to sleep because I left all of my painkillers in the car, which was really dumb of me because I knew I would want some. Because I knew I was going to get a headache. I always get a headache the night before comp, whatever, when I'm gut cutting or water loading, whatever I'm doing. So it is what it is, but I woke up this morning at 84.6. I got back in bed for about half an hour, and then I got back on the scales and I was 84.5. So super simple cut. I'm not at weight yet, but I still have 2 hours until weigh-in. I've got myself down to 84.2, but my hair is still damp as well, so that will be skewing it a little bit. But I'm going to go check my weight on the comp scales and then probably just sit and spit for the next like hour and a half until weigh-in once I get there. So that is kind of the plan. But I'm feeling pretty good overall. I haven't really had to do anything invasive. I had a bath, but it wasn't actually hot enough to really cause me to sweat very much. So I basically had a hot bath. Hot, wasn't that hot. Sat back in bed and spat for like 15 minutes, got back on the scales and I was 84.3. So all I've done since then is just have a really nice warm shower and then got myself ready. But because my hair is still wet, obviously that skews the scale slightly. So although I'm 84.2, I'm probably closer to 84.1. But I'm feeling pretty chill. I haven't really got a headache. I do think sucking on sour sweets. So I always suck on Tang Fast Sticks when I spit. And also, if anyone that doesn't realise, spitting is a thing for powerlifting meets and making weight. That probably sounds really grim. But yeah, so basically sucking on sour sweets can help you produce more saliva and then obviously just more effectively spit weight off. And so I always suck on Tang Fast Sticks. They're like my go-to every time. They're not super sour because I can't handle sour. And they don't make my tongue feel super awful unless I'm really having to spit a lot of weight off. But I think the sugar coating on the outside basically just makes me feel a little bit better because it kind of gets a bit of sugar into my system without me really eating anything. Because I definitely felt worse before I started spitting, so that's also a good sign. But yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm excited to just get to weight now and get there. But it's been a very chill morning, no stressing at all. Glad to be sitting closer to the class this morning than I normally am when I first wake up. Like usually I have to do a couple of rounds of like actual proper sweating, and I haven't had to do that at all today. So yeah, we're kind of just chilling. We didn't have to cut fluids off last night either. I ended up still sipping on my drink until I kind of went to bed. Only very minimal amounts, don't get me wrong, but haven't had to dehydrate or anything. Like obviously I am dehydrated this morning just because I've not had anything I've not consumed anything today. But I don't feel rough for it, so that's good. But I'm going to take some painkillers anyway when I get to my car because I've still got a slight lingering headache, but overall, I'm feeling good and I'm ready to just kind of get things done. So going to just get to the venue now and yeah, check my weight, make sure everything's all okay, which I'm sure it will be. My scale is always pretty accurate. Hoping this comp scales are a little bit lighter than my scales. That would be a very nice, pleasant surprise. And then yeah, just chill until official weigh-in opens. Okay, I've put this off for way too long. Let's just get into it. I said I was going to have this recap up Friday, and I like to post my YouTube videos at midnight, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And it is Thursday afternoon. I'm running out of time to get this filmed and uploaded, ready to go. I have been putting off talking about what happened at British Bench because I'm so mad at myself. This comp should have been an easy win for me. And that is no disrespect to the people I competed against. Looking at the numbers going in, looking at my training going in, it was only really the last couple of weeks that my training was quite difficult and I started to feel the effects of the deficit that I was in. This should have been a pretty comfortable win for me. You know, we managed to get my body weight where it needed to be. I felt okay on the day. I didn't feel super strong, but I felt strong enough. But I let myself down. I basically, long story short, I did not execute to the standard that I should have. And that is all on me. So what happened? I decided 7 weeks out that I wanted to do British Bench. At 7 weeks out, there was only 2 other girls entered. Both of their benches, I think, were below 90 kilos, if I remember rightly, or around there. They were definitely below 100 kilos. My comp best is 120. I'd been regularly hitting like 110 as my week 1 single of training blocks. I managed to double 115 at the end of the year, start of January, I can't remember when it was. Before I decided to enter, I doubled 115. I was feeling pretty confident about the fact that this should be a pretty comfortable win for me, because also looking back at previous years and the numbers that won it previous years in my weight class, it should have been a pretty comfortable win for me. However, I also let myself get way too heavy during the December period, and I ended up weighing over 90 kilos. A lot of that was retention, and the first couple kilos of that absolutely flew off. But 7 weeks out, I was probably already about 89.5 kilos, but I was still a far way above acute cutting range for my weight class. So the biggest challenge really was just getting my weight down and getting myself in a position to make weight to then compete. And as long as I didn't lose all of my strength in that time, it still should have been a pretty conservative win. My nutrition coach had me on a pretty aggressive cut and then in a pretty aggressive deficit to make weight for this, but I'll be honest, I actually felt decent on these calories until probably about a week and a half out when I really started to notice the effects of it. It was my 1 week out SBD that I did that really had me noticing the effects of the deficit, but we then upped my carbs for the week of comp and had me at more of like a maintenance range, maybe a slight deficit still, and training felt good. I remember my Tuesday session, so like 5 days out, I 3 count paused 112.5 and it felt really comfortable. Better than my single did 2 days before at 115 with like a normal comp pause. So I was feeling pretty good at this point. So actually, comp week, making weight, all of that was fine. In hindsight, I think we probably would have been better off not dieting me as aggressively, not cutting from so close to the class, because all I ended up having to do was a gut cut and then spitting on the morning of comp. I didn't have to do any saunering or anything. I think, to be honest, I probably would have performed better had I cut to 86.5, maybe 86, and done an aggressive acute cut from there. But that's all on me because I didn't want to do an aggressive cut. Like, I did not want to do that. So in terms of actually approaching the day, that's kind of how I was feeling. The acute cut happened, all was fine. I never feel great doing an acute cut, but you're not meant to feel great doing an acute cut. They're not fun, they're not glamorous. But made weight, and I weighed in at 83.9, so that was a good start to the day. I then made sure I was hydrated, refeeding and everything, and I felt decent, although I definitely ate too much post weigh-in. Everything was just kind of going down really easily, so I just kind of lent into it and was like, you know what, bench actually feels decent when I'm a bit bloated, I'll just keep going with it. In hindsight, I think I did eat too much, and I think that affected how kind of strong I felt. But let's talk about the actual day itself. So I kind of could tell from the beginning that I wasn't taking this seriously. And not because I thought it was an easy win, but because I didn't actually care as much as I thought I would. Like, I thought I'd be really excited to go in and have this potential of winning my first ever British Championship. Like, yes, it's bench only, but bench has always been the lift that I enjoy. A big reason I decided to do this comp is because when I do full power meets, squats I struggle with, I get really anxious for squats. Deadlifts have never been my best lift. I get pretty kind of not anxious necessarily for deadlifts, but I'm never super excited for deadlifts on comp day. Whereas bench, I just feel this mood shift when it gets to bench on a comp day, and with full power, I get to bench and I'm just in a good mood. So I thought to myself, right, you've had 3 pretty bad, by my standard, full power comps in 2025. Let's start 2026 with a bang. Let's go in and let's do bench only. You love bench. Bench is your lift. You've got a comfy lead. I was nominated with a 120 bench, and I have no intention of loading 120 on the comp day, by the way. I was thinking the most I would go to is 117. The plan was, which I'll get into when we get there, 110, 115, 117 was the plan. Just like a pretty comfortable win, that should have been. But yeah, I had a 12.5 lead on nominations, basically, which bench doesn't progress super quickly normally, so I thought that was going to be a comfortable enough lead. Now, I will say, Erica, who won, she had an incredible run of training, and I predicted that she could bench 112, which is what she ended up hitting to win. But I did also think to myself, I wouldn't be shocked if they load 115, because she'll be comfortably in second if I've hit 115. She had body weight advantage, lot number advantage. I wouldn't have been surprised had she basically taken a punt for 115, and it was like 50-50 if she'd get it, and I wouldn't have been surprised if she got it. And I want to say that here, like, full respect to her. Like, she, and I said this too, so my nutrition coach is coached by her. And I actually said to my nutrition coach, after weigh-ins when I saw her, you know, having her in this meet is making me stay honest. Like, I have to hit my attempts because she's here, because she will be on my tail if I fuck up. And shock, I completely fucked up. But anyway, bench side, started warming up. My mood was okay. Like, I was chatting to people I know, kind of getting into the swing of the day. But one thing I did notice was post weigh-in, I wasn't talking. And I was feeling quite, not antisocial necessarily, but I kind of just hid myself away, like in the stands, eating and drinking kind of on my own, which is a little bit unlike me. Normally I'm quite sociable, kind of like talking to anyone I know, but I didn't feel like that on this day. And it's not because I felt rough from the cut or anything like that. Like, generally I felt pretty good in myself. Something was just a little bit off, and I think it was that I actually realised I wasn't overly excited to do this comp, which was a bit of a letdown because I thought this was going to be the really fun comp of the year. Anyway, I started warming up, and one thing I noticed in the warm-up room was that the carpet on the platform I was using was really slippery. Essentially, it had been put the wrong way, so I was kind of going with the grain rather than against the grain, and every warm-up my feet were slipping. So my bum was slightly hovering off the bench during my warm-ups, and Adam, who handled me, noticed that. And I was adamant it was literally just because of the fact that the floor was so slippery, like I couldn't really set my hips properly or my feet were just going to go. And, you know, my warm-ups, obviously they're not super heavy, but equally, my last warm-up was 105, my penultimate warm-up was 100. I kind of need my feet on the floor. Like, I can do them last and press, but it's not going to be easy, and it's not what I want to do while I'm warming up. Like, I need my feet on the floor more than I need my glutes on the bench in the warm-up room to make these move how they should and to prime me for my opener at 110. So anyway, warm-ups were fine. They felt okay. They did, like, 70 felt fine. 90 was a little bit off, but the lift off I got wasn't great. 100 was fine, 105 was fine, so I was pretty confident. Like, I felt better during warm-ups than I did at British Full Power in December, and it was British in December that I benched 120, so I was fairly confident that basing it on that, I was actually in for a pretty comfortable day, and it shouldn't be too stressful. Until I did my opener, and everyone gets nervous for an opener, no matter what, whether it's full power or bench only, no matter how light you open. Openers are nerve-wracking because if you fuck up your opener, you're risking bombing out, and obviously no one wants to do that. So I did my opener, and it kind of just felt like I would expect an opener to feel. It wasn't super easy, but it wasn't hard.
Would be sensible, and that's exactly what she's done. She's gone for 110. And now we've got Sian. Sian is opening at 110. Again, huge opener in this weight class. Sian's always been a good bench presser.
Yeah, Sian having moved from self-coaching, I think, for 8 years, she said, to now being coached by Lewis or Forza.
Watching it back after, it moved pretty well. Not maybe as well as I sometimes move it in training, but probably better than I moved it a week out as my last warm-up then. So I was, you know, in hindsight, we should have gone straight to 115. But we went to 112 because I told my hand that the goal of the day was just to win. So essentially, I think his logic was, well, let's just pace ahead of Erica, who was ranked second. Now this is where, and this was all on me, so that first attempt I got 1 red light for bum lift, but the jury didn't intervene, all was fine, not a problem. I couldn't obviously watch it back because I was in the middle of competing, I didn't have much signal either to get the live stream up. I just kind of assumed that my bum was hovering and like it was still slightly on the bench, so I know my bum does move when I bench. Like, I'm not blessed with a big bum. It's always going to be like just on the bench when I'm benching. Like, that's always been the case for me. But I don't usually get called for bum lift, like, ever. So anyway, because it didn't get overturned, it was fine, whatever. Went out for 112, and I'm not going to lie, I think mentally, because my handler put in 112, it made me worry that I'd not looked very strong on the 110. Is kind of what was in my head. And I think that's where the self-doubt started to creep in. However, I also knew I could bench 112. So I went out and took the 112.
So now we have Sean. Sean is coming out for 112.5 kilos for her second attempt. This is well within Sean's capabilities with a PB of 120.
Look nice.
That did look nice. There's certainly more in the tank, but the referees have spotted a bit of movement in her bum. We'll see on the replay what we can see. Yeah, on the way down it starts to lift, and then there's clear daylight there, which is such a shame.
And it felt fine. I tried moving my feet a little bit further forward, making sure, because sometimes in training I do this anyway, and my feet are slightly further forward than other times. I knew it wasn't going to throw me off. Thought my butt had stayed down, got up off the bench, 2 red lights from the sides because my bum came off the bench. Now, it's fine, whatever, I walked off, and at this point I think Erica had put in 115 as like a placeholder for her third. I can't remember like the game day side of it, but I basically turned to the guy handling me, Adam, and I was like, look, just take a punt for the win. I don't care what we need to load, I want to win. I'm not here to come second and just make my attempts. I'm basically here to take it all, I'm here to go home. Like, that's, I don't care enough about bench only to care about placing second with 2.5 more on my bench. Like, at the end of the day, if I leave with just my opener because I took a punt for the win, oh well. And that was my logic on the day, which, to be honest, I'm really proud of myself for being like that, because that's something I need, that's an attitude I need to take with me into full power a little bit more as well, rather than being so scared of every single kilo lost. Actually dare to try a little bit more. And I also knew I've doubled 115 before, and 115 was probably what I was going to need. So I didn't think they were probably going to stick with 115. So yeah, I said to my handler, look, let's just load 117 and then we can drop to 115 potentially. We'll see kind of what's going on. So Hannah, who was handling, she's my nutrition coach, who was handling Erica, her lifter, dropped their third, to 112. So I said to Adam, just put 115 in. Just put 115 in. I'll do 115. I can hit 115. And I went out, and I tell you now, when I pressed the 115 off of my chest, I felt like I was just pushing my whole body down into the pad to just stay as firmly against the pad as possible.
So she thinks, you know what, I'm not going to reattempt that way. I want the win.
Definitely.
She's more than capable of this. She locks it out. Let's hope her bum stays down.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Unfortunately. I mean, her coach is walking over to the jury, and we will watch the replay.
Yeah.
Whether they'll turn him away. There is a bit of daylight there.
Marginal.
And I was like 99% sure I had done it. Like, I was so sure I'd done it until I looked at the lights and there were 2 reds from the sides, 2 yellows from the side for bum lift. So Adam handling me went to the jury and they basically said, no, we're not overturning that. It's annoying, it's frustrating. I ended up leaving with just my opener. I went 1 for 3 and I placed second. I was really upset, not because I'd lost. Like, obviously I was upset that I'd lost. I like to compete, you know. I'm upset because what should have been an easy day just completely fucked up, and not because of strength. Like, I wasn't my strongest. The 115 was not super quick. The 112 was not super quick. I can bench 115 any day. I should have moved it faster than that. And that is on me. It might be a result of the deficit. It might be that I ate too much before I started warming up and whatever else. There's a number of things it could be down to. But at the end of the day, that 115 was slow and I was not as strong as I needed to be on the day. I still made it move. And if we were in the jungle, I would have won because there's no rules. But we were not. We were on the platform and my bum lifted. I was upset because I failed on a technicality that I've not had issues with. I don't know the last time I failed on bum lift or got called for bum lift. I remember it being an issue that crept up in training a few years ago. And as a result, I started filming from the side all the time and I made sure it never happened again. and until this comp it hadn't happened again. So that's, like, I've been doing this long enough, I shouldn't be failing on stuff like that. And that's what really got me. So I was annoyed, you know, I should have had a pretty comfortable win. I was quite outwardly spoken of the fact that this should have been a pretty comfortable win for me. Again, I knew I had to make attempts because of Erica being in the competition, and like, congratulations to her. I spoke to her briefly at the end. Like, she had a phenomenal day. She's improved so much in the last year. Like, her 112 was so nice as well, like fully deserved. She executed better than me on the day. Like, that's what it comes down to. I was the worst powerlifter on the day, which also really annoys me because I pride myself in being a good powerlifter, but that's just not happened, like, at all. And I'm more disappointed in myself, really, but it is what it is. So kind of wrapped up the day, kind of headed straight home like I was always going to anyway. And I gave myself the day to sulk. So Monday, I just had a bit of a sad day, a bit of a down day. I got my work and stuff done in the morning, and then gave myself the afternoon to just kind of just feel how I was feeling and start to reflect a little bit. And it wasn't until I was actually speaking to my coach, who kind of gave me his thoughts as well. And there's a whole list of things that went into the fact the day didn't go to plan. And obviously the onus is on me. I didn't execute, I didn't lift to standard, which is just not good enough, like, not acceptable. It's not going to happen again, because on Monday I rearranged my entire home gym so that I can film bench from the side every single time now. So that's literally never happening again. I will not let it. But when I was speaking to my coach, one thing I actually said to him, which is when it really hit me why I was so upset, is that this is 4 competitions in a row where I've been really disappointed in my performance and the outcome, and I've just not done as good as I know I can do. And that's not me sitting here wishing for these outrageous numbers. Like, obviously I'd love to be lower stronger than I am. This is me sitting here realistically looking at my training data, at how things have been moving, and not performing how I know I can and I should. And that's been literally like a year now of that. So it's 4 competitions in a row. This meet was supposed to be the turning point for that and to start the year in a positive way. I did the hard work. I did the crazy deficit. We didn't even really adjust my training in terms of volume or anything on my SBD or my accessories, this entire deficit either. Like, I got through all of this hard work to show up at the meet and just not execute to standard. And that really got me. And then on Monday, when I kind of sat there and really thought about it and realised that it's my 4th competition in a row where I've been upset at the outcome and disappointed in my performance, it just really hurt. And I'm very sarcastic. I like to make self-deprecating jokes when I'm feeling upset. Like, this, it's just what I do. And I did tell myself this literally just Monday that I was going to do that for. And to be honest, I felt a lot better Tuesday because I allowed it for myself. But I think one thing I had a bit of a conversation about with a few different people was, you know, and obviously outwardly to other people, I came second at British Bench. I hit only my opener and I still came second. I benched 110 and all of these things to other people are fantastic achievements, and I'm very aware of that. But to me, they're not good enough. Like, I hold myself to a high standard anyway, and I've been doing this sport long enough that I shouldn't be failing on technicalities like bum lift on the bench press. But not only that, I hit an opener that was less than my opener at my last comp, and that's all I walked away with. Like, I'm very disappointed in that for myself. And I also think something people like, there's this narrative in powerlifting that, you know, it is a hobby at the end of it. Like, obviously for me, it's my career too. I am a coach. Like, it is my career, but athlete Sean and coach Sean, 2 separate entities is how I try and describe it to people. But in terms of the athlete side, everyone's always saying, you know, it's just a hobby, like, you know, you shouldn't let it affect you too much, it's supposed to be fun. And that is absolutely true. But that doesn't mean you don't care about the outcome. And I'm allowed to spend a day upset and disappointed at my performance. I'm allowed to spend a week upset and disappointed at my performance. I'm allowed to spend the next 6 months in a terrible mood, just kind of working like in the background behind the scenes to make up for this, what I would call loss. It's okay to care. And I don't think that's spoken about enough. Like, it is absolutely okay to care. I don't think I've got many reflections on this that I'm probably going to go into. Like, I just want to put something out to talk about how the day went. Obviously, I'm upset with how the day went. There are lessons to be learned, though. And I don't know if it's just because it obviously didn't go to plan, but I have also been saying, like, to my coach, but also I spoke to my family about it as well. Like, I don't think bench only's for me, which I'm actually quite happy about, because I had this fear that doing bench only, I would have loads of fun, enjoy it way more than full power. My bench is my best lift anyway. That I would essentially not want to do, not that I wouldn't train full power still or do the odd competition, but almost that I was going to fall down this bench only route. And even before the day started, like, I knew it wasn't for me. It didn't, like, something didn't feel right about not having, like, the pre-squat nerves, and it just, yeah, something felt off, like, the whole day. And it has made me realise I don't really want to do bench only. Like, obviously I might change my mind, and it might just be that I'm bitter that things absolutely went, it was a shit show. Like, my performance was a shit show. But, yeah, I don't think it's for me. I haven't put my name down for international selection. Not that I maybe would get selected anyway, obviously it would depend. They probably won't want to take someone that only just made an attempt, which, to be honest, from the side view, my opener maybe shouldn't have counted either, because there was a little bit of light coming underneath. So, you know, they may not want me on the team anyway. But I have decided I'm not going to put my name forward for international this year, which was a big part of why I did it as well, was kind of get that GB singlet. I don't think I'd feel satisfied with a bench-only GB singlet anyway, especially not off of that performance that I did. And I know I could come back and redeem myself. Like, that is never happening again. Like, ever happening again. And I know I'm like a 120 plus bencher consistently now as well. Like, the rapid weight loss into this competition, like, the reason my butt lifted, I don't even think I've spoken about this, so I'm 99% confident that the reason my butt started lifting is because, as I briefly mentioned earlier, I'm not blessed with carrying a lot of weight around my bum. Like, I don't really carry fat in my legs and glutes, basically, or my hips or that area. Most of my fat is carried in my upper body. So the first place that I lose fat when I lose weight is my lower body and my bum. So dropping weight so rapidly, I think that's probably also the problem. Like, my leverage has changed so much in such a short amount of time that I hadn't adapted to my new leverages yet for bench either. And it is what it is, but at the end of the day, the biggest takeaway for me here is, one, film from the side from now on, but more than that, it's control my body weight year round. I really let myself fall down this rabbit hole of kind of eating like an idiot in December, and obviously it's okay to take your foot off the gas at times, but equally, I hold myself to such a high standard as a lifter anyway, and I'm being an athlete year round, and that includes dialing my nutrition in year round, and I do dial it in most of the time, and actually, that's the worst my nutrition has been in years. Like, that's probably the most, like, not dialed in I've been in years. And I know now, no matter what the time of year is, I need to be more dialed in with that. And that doesn't mean, obviously, full restriction year round. Like, I can still enjoy social meals. I can still enjoy things that I want to eat. But it just means maybe not spending the whole of December eating junk food, you know, just balance and not letting my body weight get out of control. And I need to keep in control of my body weight year round, because I'm not moving up a weight class. And this is something I've been asked a couple of times as well. Like, people have said to me, oh, I guarantee you'll move up in the next couple of years, simply because I got to 90 kilos. I can't express how much healthier I feel in my body now that I'm sitting about 85, 86 kilos. Even stuff like getting up off the floor wasn't as easy for me when I was heavier. Like, and it's not a massive change in body weight by any means, but my joints feel healthier. I'm way more mobile now. I feel more energetic in myself. Walking is easier. I'm not getting out of breath as much as I was. And just getting up off the floor. Like, getting up off the floor is so easy now, which sounds so silly. But when I was 88, 89, 90 kilos, it wasn't the same. And my body doesn't want to be that heavy, and I don't want to be that heavy. I am my best athlete. I am my best human. I am my best self when I'm sitting nearer the 84 mark, because I feel healthier in myself in so many different aspects. And it's not an appearance thing, anything like that. It's literally just how I feel in my body, in myself, in my movement, in day-to-day life, as well as in the gym. So basically, my biggest lesson from this is actually just to keep my body weight in control more year round, and maybe not decide 7 weeks out when I'm really heavy that I'm going to do a competition. But yeah, I don't think bench only is for me, and actually my focus now is just completely 100% on full power, and I'm just going to keep chipping away until I finally get to the level I think I can be at. So yeah, that is the recap. There were definitely more things I was going to talk through, but in normal me style, I haven't planned this. I put this off all week. There were definitely more reflections and stuff that I've made, and I've been posting some of them on Instagram as well. But I think it's important to also say, even though I was really upset with the result, I still made sure to enjoy the day as much as I possibly could. It's okay, like, I still had fun. I still chatted to people, I still spoke to friends, I still, you know, I enriched myself in the day as much as I could. But the main thing I did was, as soon as I'd finished, I just kind of went and sat by myself for 15 minutes and just thought and just kind of processed it. There were no tears shed until the Monday, which I think is positive. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm not a bench only athlete. I don't want to be a bench only athlete. Simple as that. I know I'm a good competitive full power athlete when I'm at full health, and now I've just got to prove it. I've got to put it together for my next competition, and if it's not at the next competition, it'll be the one after. And sometimes I think having a string of bad meets, obviously bad depends from person to person. Like, some people look at the meets I had last year and be like, oh no, why are you disappointed? Like, All England's last summer, I went 9 for 9, but I wasn't happy with my performance at all because none of my lifts were where they should have been, and I almost didn't try very hard, and I was very disappointed in myself for that. So, you know, these are things that I have to sit and reflect on and think about, and I've had enough bad meets now that if I have one more, I'll carry on. I love this sport. I'm in it for the long haul. There's always lessons to learn when we don't achieve the things we're after, and we just have to keep going and keep trying, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. And fingers crossed, I have officially paid entry for my next meet, which is All England's in May, second weekend of May. Fingers crossed we manage to put things together there, but quite frankly, if we don't, oh well, we go again in December at the British.